The Backbench Business Committee, when we'll be considering requests for debates from colleagues in the main chamber and in Westminster Hall on Tuesdays and Thursdays. First up is a request for a debate from David Mundell. This is the title at the moment is Rethinking UK Aid Policy in an Era of Global Funding Cuts, and this is a request for the Chamber or Westminster Hall on a Tuesday or a Thursday. Over to you, David, to present.
Yes, the focus of the debate was, in my understanding, was the global response to HIV/AIDS, and not as wide as stated, so I do apologise, Chair. If that,
it's your application.
It is. Well, I thought I had filled it in. I had thought I do apologise because I thought I had filled it in on the basis that it was very specifically focused on HIV/AIDS, and I do apologise if that has not been clear in the application, and certainly those people who supported the application did so on the basis that that's what the debate.
So the application, as it stands, the reasons for the debate do talk about the position, generally speaking, about.
Well, if it would be more helpful to the committee, I can resubmit the application if that would be more.
It's up to you. The application is here. We're happy to consider.
What the application I would wish is an application which is focused on the global response to HIV/AIDS. I'm partly with my the hat on of being the co-chair of the all-party group. As the committee members will be aware, there was very significant cuts to funding for HIV/AIDS in the United States. Then following very significant lobbying by many organisations and individuals within the United States, within the last few days those cuts have actually been substantially reversed. But because the United States had taken a policy decision to disband its development arm, USAID, it's actually very difficult to spend the money that they have now identified as being available. And secondly, because of other policy considerations, they exclude certain groups from receiving support. So any group which is associated with any form of family planning, or any group that is associated with the LGBT community, cannot receive US funding. So there is a need for a wider debate in the context of how in parallel with the US funding, other funding from the UK, which is currently uncertain, can be, and other countries can be delivered along with funding from philanthropists to ensure that everybody does receive the help and support they need as we move forward towards the goal of no new transmissions in 2030. We had a very positive development here in the UK with the publication of this government's HIV strategy, which is very much to be welcomed and is a very good platform for the UK to use as to influence events elsewhere.
Okay, thank you. Any questions from colleagues? The application, as I read it, is quite broad. If during the debate you want to concentrate on HIV/AIDS, that's completely up to you. I don't think there's an issue from our perspective.
Right. Okay. Well, that was the original impetus for the debate application.
Right. Well, the clerks will be in touch with you.
Okay.
In due course.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Next application is from Greg Stafford. A request for a debate on filling the gaps in dental provision. And this is for a Westminster Hall debate on a Tuesday morning. Greg, please present your application.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman and committee. Thank you for hearing this application. I think Some really key things. I think I'd be very surprised if any member around the committee, or indeed any member of the House, does not have their postbag filled with issues about access to dentistry. Unlike the rest of the NHS, dentistry is different. First of all, apart from children and certain specific groups, it is not free. And second of all, unlike most of the it is not universal. In fact, it's quite the opposite of being universal. In many places, people can't access it at all. And I think the heart of that, in my opinion, comes from or stems from the way that the dental contract currently operates, without the incentives in the right places, in fact disincentives in some places, to operate effectively. So I think it would be useful for us to be able to have a proper debate around the future of dentistry. Obviously, I think it would be helpful to scrutinise where things have gone wrong in the past, where hopefully we can give suggestions to the government to improve things in the future, but also that honourable members and right honourable members can give their take on what is going on in their constituencies as well. So I think it's of the moment. I think it's the right time, as the government's looking at the dental contract, to have this conversation, and I think it will be well attended and well supported because of, frankly, the nature of what's going on in dentistry in our constituents. The application is supported by cross-party, Labour, Conservative, Independent, Reform, and a DUP member as well just now. So hopefully it shows a broad cross-party support for this as well.
Thank you, Will.
So, we've already got a couple of debates on dentistry at the moment. Would you, in the line, would you consider reaching out to other members like Lewis Atkinson, Adam Dance, or Adrian Ramsey to consider combining the debates to get a bit of maximum impact on it?
I'm happy to have this, as long as I don't know exactly their titles of their debate. What I'm really keen to get into is the contract, so and how we deal with that. But if that's part of their debates, then I'd be happy to amalgamate. But then I think this will be such a well-attended debate on dentistry. It depends exactly what their angle and they're looking at. I think we could just talk about the contract for 90 minutes. But if with your guidance, I'm happy to talk to them. And of course, they can talk to me as well.
Yeah. Martin.
Yeah, Greg, you've identified a specific title for your debate, but Westminster Hall debates can only be general. Would you prefer it to be specific and wait for a chamber opportunity, or slightly amend it?
I'm keen for it to happen as soon as possible, and therefore I'm very happy to amend the title to something more generic if required.
It's the motion that's the issue.
Yeah. You're happy to go for a general...
I'm happy to go for a general title.
Considered,
yes, if necessary.
Just to be clear, you've got a motion attached to your application.
Yes.
Obviously, a motion can only be taken in the chamber. You can't take a motion in Westminster Hall if it's divisible.
Yes, and that's why I think in terms of the general debate in Westminster Hall, I mean, don't get me wrong, I would love to have this on the main floor of the chamber, but I think the likelihood is, knowing the panoply of stuff that you've got, I'd rather do this sooner, and therefore I'd rather, the general debate would be that this House has considered dentistry provision in England in Westminster Hall.
That's fine. Thank you. Any other questions from colleagues? No? Okay, Greg, the clerks will be in touch in due course.
Thank you very much.
And you may wish to converse with the other individuals.
I've taken a note of them, so I'll speak to them as well.
Okay,
thank you.
Fine, thank you. Next application is from Helen Hayes, and this is a request for a debate on World Book Day and a request for the Chamber. Helen, over to you.
Thank you very much indeed, Chair. Thank you to the committee for considering this application. It's an application for a debate on World Book Day, and there is significant interest in this debate, and the interest is cross-party. You might think that the interest is from members who want to share the stories of their World Book Day costumes, perhaps for themselves and their children, or perhaps share in a therapeutic manner some of the trials and tribulations of their World Book Day costumes for themselves and their children. But actually there is a really serious purpose to this debate. So the government has launched the National Year of Reading. My committee, the Education Select Committee, has also launched an inquiry on reading for pleasure. We know that there are really huge benefits of reading for pleasure for children's brain development, for the development of empathy, for their mental health and well-being, for the expanding of their horizons and their imaginations, and for very young children, for bonding and secure attachment as well. But we also know that reading for pleasure has really significantly dropped off. So now only 1 in 3 children will say that in their own time, when they're not being directed to do anything else, they will choose to pick up a book and to read. So we're digging in on the Select Committee to that question of why reading for pleasure has dropped off so much and what can be done, how can we intervene to get things back on track and make sure that as many children as possible from all parts of the country are really benefiting from picking up a book. So that is why we would really love to have a debate in the House of Commons chamber to coincide with World Book Day, to shine a light on the marvellous institution that is World Book Day across the country, to celebrate all that schools and teachers and support staff do to encourage children to enjoy some fun around reading and books, but also to talk about the serious question of the policy debate on this issue. How can we support more children to get back to reading and enjoying reading for pleasure?
Thank you. Will first.
So thank you for bringing this forward. I know you've just said that you're incredibly interested in getting it in the chamber. World Book Day is only 3 weeks away, and we have quite a long list of debates going forward. Would you be interested in a Westminster Hall debate to get it in closer to the time, to add a bit more relevance to it?
I mean, I would hope that the level of interest and the genuine balance of cross-party interest might mean that the committee could consider prioritising it for debate in the chamber, but we'd obviously be open to what the committee is able to offer.
So just to clarify that, if we offer you Thursday the 5th of March in Westminster Hall, you would accept it?
We would accept it. We'd really prefer the chamber.
I understand, Chris.
Sorry, Chair, it's not a question, but I just declare an interest because I'm obviously a member of the Education Select Committee. So
Okay. Anyone else? Okay, the clerks will be in touch in due course.
I think the text is right.
Thank you very much.
Okay, the next application is from Backbench Business for a debate on safeguarding human rights in supply chains to the United Kingdom. This is a request for a debate in Westminster Hall on either a Tuesday morning or a Thursday afternoon. Amos, over to you.
Thank you. This is an issue in relation to safeguarding human rights in supply chains to the UK. There's an estimated 27.6 million people currently working in forced labour, and the forced labour, 2/3 of those people working forced labour, they find their way into supply chains. At the moment, the UK doesn't have the best process in relation to trying to work out how those supply chains, whether they're using forced labour or not. So this is a debate to try and find out from the government what steps they're taking to be more stringent in their processes for trying to eke out the global chains that do use forced labour that find their way to the UK. So an example would be like the Uyghurs in China, but they're not. It's not alone in relation to them. There was a report done by the Joint Committee on Human Rights last year on forced labour in UK supply chains, which made a number of recommendations. At the moment, due diligence from organisations is voluntary, and there are some great organisations that do due diligence in modern-day slavery in supply chains, but they're at a disadvantage because the ones that don't do due diligence get the benefit of cheaper goods, and they can undercut them in the marketplace. There has been a fair bit of interest. In addition to the names already submitted, I have Chris Law from the SNP and Ian Duncan-Smith have also expressed an interest in the debate. The date we'd be looking for would be ideally the Thursday the 16th of April, but any time from the week commencing the 13th of April, which is straight after the recess, until the end of April would be happy with.
Okay. Can I just check with you, because it's a Tuesday application, Which would be the answering department?
It would be DBT.
Thank you. That's the case. Any other questions, colleagues? No? Okay, the clerks will be in touch with you in due course, Bambus.
Thank you.
Thank you. Next application is from our season ticket holder, Jim Shannon. Apologies for keeping you from the adjournment debate, but...
You still make it. No, I don't think I've
Sorry, done one.
We're challenged to actually intervene in this one.
Yeah.
So this is a request for a debate on public toilet provision for people living with stoma.
Yeah.
A request for a Westminster Hall debate on a Tuesday morning.
If possible, Mr. Chairman, first of all, thank you and thank your committee members for giving me the chance to request this. I had been approached by some of the organisations and the party's health spokesperson, so one of these ones where you didn't have much bother getting people to sign or contribute. 5 Labour members, 2 Conservative, Lib Dem, Plaid Cymru, SNP, Independent and myself. The importance of this is it's a very personal thing, and when you talk to people, and I've known people over the years, as Mr. Chairman, I know you would as well, and all of my members would, who have had stomas. Some of them still have a stoma. Some of them had a stoma for a short time, and then they had it removed whenever their health conditions got better, which is always what you hope will happen, but not always what does happen. So just a very quickly in relation to it, public toilets are disappearing at an alarming rate. We know that. Therefore, for many of those who have stomas, it means that they're under a bit of pressure. When the stoma bag leaks or pancake or balloons, whenever there's problems with it, events can happen very suddenly, and it puts those with stoma bags in a very, very difficult position. Without a suitable toilet, dignity, confidence and mental well-being are all at risk. The Stoma Aware survey said that 63% avoid day-to-day activities just because of the stoma, and 25% have been challenged for using accessible toilets. I mean, that's ridiculous. 4% leave home only on emergencies. And I'm hoping that government, because I think, Mr. Chairman, we can do things. Any hope I had of going to the Germans well over now, so it is. But I think I have 2 simple asks of government: to legislate for minimum public toilet provision, and secondly, to mandate stoma-friendly features in all accessible toilets throughout the UK. The importance of it doesn't need a whole lot of things to change. Simple, low-cost adaptations, hooks, shelves. You think about these things, these are simple things to do in toilets. Hooks, shelves, mirrors, bins, clear signage can transform people's lives. So if we do it right, and I think we can, because people really feel the shame, the pain, the rising anxiety comes off having a stoma, never mind all the other issues. And the lack of proper toilet facilities affect every aspect of life. It means that people can't go to shops, go to theatres, go to public transport. Opportunities for work and education and socialising are also limited, and emotional well-being and independence are undermined. I think it's a really genuine case, Mr. Chairman. I know the committee are very fair, but in this one here, I think it's time that we aired, if I can use that word, aired the case for those who are people living with stomas, because they have, I believe, impacts upon their lives that maybe we don't know very much about, and I think it's time to make it known. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you very much, Jim. I declare my interest that I had to wear a stoma bag for a year after an operation, so I know exactly what you're talking about. And when one of those starts to peel away from your skin, you know all about it. Yeah. It's horrible. Anyway, Will.
Thank you. This is your 19th application. We've allocated you one for the 26th, Thursday the 26th of February, and you've got 2 more on the waiting list. Is there any time considerations the committee need to know about this specific debate?
I know the pressures that the committee are under, Mr. Chairman and members. I'm happy to leave it to your discretion. Yeah.
Mary.
Thank you, Chair. Jim, you haven't specified the department that you would like, because stoma care would come under DHSC, but public toilets would be the responsibility of MHCLG. So which of those would you like to answer?
Mary, you've given me a difficult question. I suspect that you might have as much knowledge of the right person. I'm sorry, Mr. Chairman. I didn't. I thought it was straightforward, but the honourable lady is absolutely right, and it could be an order department. Can I leave that with yourself to tell me the right department? I thought it was straightforward health.
You can, because we're not going to allocate this immediately, I suspect.
No, that's what I think.
But obviously, as a Tuesday application, then we need to know which is the answering department. So, because we can only allocate it when the answering department is actually answering.
Right. Okay. Yeah, well, I can. If you're happy, Mr. Chairman, I can leave that with you. Is that okay? Can I leave that with yourselves?
Yeah, you can. By all means, but if you can advise us in coming time. Okay, fine. Mary, you've got a further question, I think.
This one might be a bit easier. Presently, the committee has enough Tuesday applications on its waiting list to last until May at the earliest. And you're usually happy to accept debates in Westminster Hall on a Thursday. Is there a reason why it couldn't be on a Thursday?
I would prefer a Tuesday, but look, honestly, I'll take whatever you get, man.
So a question for you first, Chair, and then it might be a question for Jim. Jim, in your introductory remarks, you said you were the health spokesman for your party.
My party, aye.
Does that go to all parties, or is it the three main parties?
Minor parties, we don't mind.
Okay. Yeah. And then, just for clarification, Jim, are you saying leave it to us to choose the answering department?
I think that's better, because I thought it was straightforward.
Well, I think the chairman was saying come back to us with which department you want to answer.
It's your application. You want to get an answer from the relevant department.
Yeah.
It's for you to decide who the answering department should be. If the government change their view and say, well, actually, no, we want a different department to answer this, that's up to them. But you need to decide.
Well, then, if that's the case, then I would say probably health department. Would that be appropriate?
We'll ask. Then,
okay, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And do you have a copy of all the names, do you? Okay, good, thank you.
Thanks very much, Jim. The clerks will be in touch in due course.
Super, thank you so much. Appreciate it. Thank you.
And the final application is from Barry Gardner for a debate in the Chamber or Westminster Hall on government plans to address air pollution. Over to you, Barry.
Thank you, Chair, and thank you to all of the committee for considering the application. Last year, 205 people died in this country because of knife crime. It's a national outrage, and politicians fulminated against it so much that the government has said it's going to halve knife crime by 2035. Last year, 1,579 people died in road traffic accidents. And now the government says it will cut the number of deaths on our roads by 65% by 2035. These deaths are unacceptable, and it's right that the government is taking action. But for a killer 20 times more deadly than knife crime and road accidents put together, the government's ambition has been blunted and its progress has stalled. Last year, up to 43,000 people died in the UK because of polluted air. Those aren't my figures. These are the figures from the Royal College of Physicians and the UK Health Security Agency. They record the number of premature deaths that are the result of air pollution, and they're backed up and supported by Alzheimer's Research, Asthma Lung UK, the British Heart Foundation, the British Thoracic Society, Cancer Research UK, the Royal College of Paediatrics and Child Health, the Royal Society of Public Health, and many other scientific and medical bodies. Air pollution remains the single largest environmental risk factor for both early death and ill health in this country. The World Health Organization has set clear guidelines that cover nitrogen dioxide, particulate matter, and many other pollutants. And that is why the Office of Environmental Protection advised the government to align the UK standards with the WHO, the World Health Authority or Organization's guidance. That advice was rejected, and nitrogen dioxide targets for air pollution is not even included in the government's latest environmental improvement plan. In December's Environmental Improvement Plan, the government announced their ambition to reduce population exposure to PM2.5 by 30%. That's welcome. But notice, that talks of population exposure, not of absolute air quality standards. Oh, and incidentally, that target is one which we're already meeting on population exposure. The WHO standard is that there should not be more than 5 micrograms of PM2.5 per metre cubed of air. 26,000 schools in England and Wales sit in areas where the air pollution exceeds the PM2.5 or the nitrogen dioxide WHO guidance levels. This year is the 70th anniversary of the Clean Air Act of 1956. When the government did act, 4,000 people had died over a period of 5 days in the Great Smog, as it was known, and the government acted. The government has not updated its targets for nitrogen dioxide, with towns and cities projected to still be breaching the outdated legal limits that were set in the 1940s. This is a pressing issue, but it's one which the whole of government is not pressing hard enough on. And it encompasses health, transport, agriculture, education, work, the environment, climate targets, so much more. We need a whole government approach. The UK needs a new Clean Air Act which commits to achieving WHO guidelines as soon as possible, for we know that every year of delay means thousands, tens of thousands of preventable premature deaths. We know too that those affected most by air pollution are the medically vulnerable, children, those with underlying health conditions, the elderly. We know also that those on low incomes and people of colour and non-drivers are disproportionately overrepresented in the 5% of neighbourhoods exposed to the most extreme air pollution. Air quality is not just a health issue, it's a social justice issue, and indeed it's an economic issue, not just for the pressure it puts on our healthcare system, but also the wider economic burden that it places on business. The CBI has found that the business benefit of achieving WHO guidelines would be 1.6 billion to the economy each year. The Royal College of Physicians has calculated that the savings to the health service and the wider economic benefits would be £27 billion each year. Tackling air pollution is one of the most progressive, the most cost-saving actions this government could take. And 2026, on the 70th anniversary of the Clean Air Act, should be the year in which the government commits to what actually, when it was the Labour Party in 2023, it did commit to in opposition, to abide by the WHO guidelines for air quality. 43,000, up to 43,000. The actual figures are between 29 and 43,000 premature deaths each year in this country because of polluted air. Had they died of knife crime, had they died in road traffic accidents, there would be an uproar. But because it is an invisible, silent killer, there is no motivation to act, and there should be. I hope that if we can secure this debate, we can make 2026 the year in which the government starts treating air pollution with the urgency and the attention that it deserves. You will see, Chair, that it is a well-supported debate. We have members from the DUP, the Social Democratic and Labour Party, the Independent Party, Labour, Conservative, Liberal Democrats, Greens. This is something that affects every constituency in this country. and I hope that if we can secure this debate, we can begin to do something about it.
Okay, thank you. Any questions? Yeah, go ahead, Chris.
Thank you, Barry, for your very passionate pitch, and this is obviously a hugely important debate, as you've correctly identified. I know, a little bit of Googling, that the Clean Air Act of 1956 gained royal assent in July of that year, but I'm presuming with the urgency in which you speak, you would want to have it as soon as possible, so I presume this is why you've said you're happy with either a Westminster Hall or a Chamber debate. Is that right?
Absolutely. I think the sooner we can just get people to realise the extent of the problem that we have and the opportunity for savings and economic benefit that we have. I mean, if you want to grow the economy, the CBI are saying, 1.6 billion to the economy from meeting those guidelines.
Yeah, anyone else? No? Okay, the clocks will be in touch in due course, Barry.
Thank you very much.
That concludes the public business of the committee. The committee will now retire to consider the applications in private order or